Hello, everyone. This is another Black Conservative. I am Ryan Boland. Thank you all for joining me. It never amazes me the things that liberals say. I've gotten to the point where I've become almost like numb to the things they say. It's like, okay, if this person is liberal, they're going to say something crazy, just like off the rail. And I don't mean it's just regular liberals. I mean like, because I tend to separate, honestly, this and this may sound strange, but I tend to separate liberals from Democrats. I tend to do that because I know some very, even though the political Democratic Party supports a lot of liberal ideologies for votes, I tend to see some people who vote Democrats, regular people who vote Democrats, and I'm not talking about the politicians. I can't stand the Democratic politicians. I'm talking about the regular people that vote Democrat. They tend to be very intelligent individuals. And they tend to live, and I said this in the previous video, they tend to live the life of a conservative, but yet vote Democrat for whatever weird, odd reason. Well, anyway, I'm talking about the liberals. When the liberals are like a whole nother breed in and of themselves. And what I'm referring to here is actress Bette Midler, who made the statement that women should save the sperm of men to prove that when they go to court to prove that this is the guy's child, to save his sperm. I mean, now let me ask you guys this question before I get into this article. It's a relatively short article. Is Bette Midler a comedian? Because I never followed her life before I got politically involved. I never followed her. I could have cared less. And the little clips that I did see of her, she always seemed to be comedic in a lot of instances. So I'm wondering if she's a comedian, because this is funny to me. I'm wondering if she's really serious about it. But when I read the article, she's a radical left. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, maybe she's not a comedian. Because like I said earlier, a lot of the things that radical liberals say is just comical. They can't be serious, but then they actually, in their own mind, are convinced that what they're saying makes sense. So let's get into this. I mean, oh my goodness. So it says, far left singer and Disney Hocus Pocus 2 star Bette Midler took her abortion activism to a bizarre extreme on Monday when she advised women to, quote, save the sperm next time they have sex with a man. Hi, ladies. Just a brief note to remind you to save the sperm next time you have sex so that if you get pregnant, you have the evidence to sue and win 18 years of child support, Midler advised. So this is a tweet she clearly made, obviously. And it says, the article says, given that any standard paternity test can determine the father of a baby, bingo, which can then be used in the court of law to obtain child support, Midler's recommendation makes little sense or carries any level of practicality. One particular individual says, today a simple blood test is often all the court needs to establish paternity. DNA or other blood tests are typically 99.9% accurate at determining the child's biological father. Wasn't it the Maury Povich show that went about that? The Maury Povich show. I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't know if that show is still running now, or if it's still doing that and you are the father or you are not the father. But clearly they would do a paternity test. I'm sure that they weren't going around saying, okay, talking to the females and saying, did you save your boyfriend's sperm? Did you save his sperm? Because you're going to need to be able to prove that he's a father. Really? What you going to do? I know this is going to sound kind of gross, but it's comical to me, people. Think about that for a moment. Save the sperm. And she's serious, which she probably is because she's a radical liberal. And they don't make sense half the time when they open their mouths. What she's suggesting, okay, look, if she's serious, what she's suggesting is that even if he's not wearing a condom, and let's assume he's not wearing a condom, and they engage in acts of sex, and he ejaculates. I know this sounds gross, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, how are you going to go about that? You're going to sneak and say, and wait till he leaves? Could you go to the bathroom for a minute, hon? Let me go and see. I just need to relax because it was just so great. And what are you going to do? Sneak and take some pieces sneak and take the fluid and put it in where are you going to put it? How are you going to come on, man. She was serious because she's a radical liberal. The article goes on to say, when it comes to the basics of biology, oh, wait a minute, hold on a second. Okay, when it comes to the basics of biology, Bette Midler has not exactly proven to be the sharpest tool in the shed. It's an opinion piece right there. During the height of the baby formula crisis, she sparked tremendous backlash on social media when she suggested that women just try breastfeeding instead, completely oblivious to the bodily challenges that new mothers often face far beyond their control. If these children have been eating, using formula for quite some time, and then you switch to breastfeeding, that could cause a problem. Try breastfeeding. It's free and available on demand, Bette Midler said. Wow. Midler also warned gays that they will soon be next in the wake of the Supreme Court ruling overturning Roe v. Wade. And this is what she tweeted. Get ready, gays. You're next. So that's the end of that article right there. That to me is very, very comical. Now somebody asks, gee, why did you do that? That's not newsworthy. I do it because I did that one because it's comical. It proves to me, once again, how liberals are. It proves to me, once again, that when you don't have strong moral values, when you don't believe in absolute right or wrong, when you believe in all this radical, crazy stuff, it somehow affects a person's brain. And I don't mean that in a comical way. I'm not meaning that. I don't mean that mockingly. I literally mean it affects the person psychologically. It affects their brain. If she's not a comedian, if even she is a comedian, I believe she really meant what she said. Clearly, she doesn't know what she's talking about. But this is what I see and hear all the time from liberals, whether they're politicians, talking about, I don't know what a female's not being able to define what a female or a woman is, to actors and actresses saying dumb stuff like she just said. I mean, it amazes me. It amazes me to think they're only making it worse and worse every time they talk. They sound like Bette Midler and a lot of these liberal celebrities and so forth sound like miniature Joe Bidens. And what I mean by that is that just like Joe Biden, when he opens his mouth, you be like, oh God, I hope he don't say something crazy. Oh Lord Jesus, help him, God. It's the same thing with those that voted him in office and love him to death. Like when they open their mouths, you almost like, oh, this is a liberal. It's a far left liberal. It's a radical. Oh God, oh God, they about to say something stupid. Oh Lord, save his sperm. And oh Lord. Despite the fact that the courts can determine it by, oh Lord, oh help them, Jesus, they need help. It's so comical to me. I sit back and just look at them and laugh because I've gone beyond being disgusted by what they say. I've gone beyond that. Why be disgusted by it? I just laugh at them. I just laugh at them in derision. I mean, it's like, why be disgusted by them? There's nothing to be disgusted by them anymore. They're losing the battle. They're losing the battle. They're losing. We win and you lose. Get over it. You'll be okay. You'll be okay. Let's make this assumption that America starts a little bit at a time returning to conservative values. Is that the end of the world? Is it the end of the world that we respect the nuclear family, husband and wife, children, husband being on? Is that so detrimental and so horrible? We've been so far removed from right and wrong and so far removed from traditional moral values, man, we don't know which end is which. We don't know. It's almost like the country wouldn't know what hit them if we returned to those kind of basic moral values. It would be a shock, a culture shock to a lot of people because they wouldn't know how to handle it. Oh, the nuclear family, the father being in a home, oh, wow. A true education, going to school and actually learning math and actually learning real history and actually learning real science. Wow. A revelation. That's a true utopia right there. Wow. If such a thing was happening, it would blow the mind of a lot of these liberals. They probably would flee to a communist country. They're probably, I'm getting out of here. And I've heard them say, so I'm getting out. I'm leaving. I don't want to be. I'm leaving. And what's crazy about a lot of these liberals that say when Trump was in office, they would say, I'm going to leave. I'm getting out of here. I'm wondering, did they really leave? Did they really leave? From what I understand, correct me in the comment box if you know, I don't think those who have threatened to leave this country have actually left. You leave in the golden paradise. Where you going to go? What you going to do? Who you going to go to Russia? You going to go to China? You go to China, you say, well, China making their economy is really up there, yeah, but it's controlled by the Communist Chinese Party. They control the economy there. They're still in control. It's still a communist country. They're just using capitalist principles. But they control capitalism there completely. So is that where you going to go? You want surveillance 24/7 on you, everywhere you go, whatever you do? You want that? Go ahead with your bad self. So I hear these people threatening it, and none of them have ever left from what I understand. So going back to that in the summation of this video, it never ceases to amaze me the things that liberals say. When you reject moral principles, when you reject traditional moral values, the way I see it, it's hard to think rational. Because once you get rid of traditional moral values, once you suppress your conscience, that inner voice that tells you what is right and what is wrong intuitively, once you suppress that inner voice, then you are open to all kinds of other voices that simply will confuse you psychologically. And that's what I see here. That's what I see with people like Bette Midler and other liberals. They just spew vomit coming out their mouth. It's just amazing. It amazes me. But what do you guys think about this comment that Bette Midler made? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. God bless you all, and see you again on another Black Conservative.